following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Wave. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world to recover our natural health and regain some of our rights and our freedoms. And it's a beautiful morning in downtown Clearwater. It's 64 degrees and sunny. It's a cold front coming through, so kind of nice and refreshing. You know, if you have any questions, suggestions for the show, you can reach me at Nico at TFNN.com. Even though Paige isn't here today, you can reach her at Paige at TFNN.com. And I'm taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. Boy, brand new world here, folks. It was hard to believe such a change in our policies now all of a sudden. We don't know what the policies are going to be, but with Donald Trump in charge, there's a lot of guessing going around, I guess. I don't know quite what to think of it. I know everybody was kind of mad and wanted to see things change, and that's kind of what happened after the Bush presidency, too. So that's how Obama got in, and now we got Trump. Didn't want to continue with the same old regime, and that's what we do in America. We change things. So no excuses now for getting things done. I guess the question in everybody's mind, what will get done and where are the priorities? He had those 5 things that he was going to do: build the wall, get rid of Obamacare, indict Hillary Clinton as a criminal and put her in jail, and I forget the other 2. Those were the main ones, that's for sure. I think doing away with NAFTA and getting our trade agreements all changed. So it'll be interesting, that's for sure. I mean, where are we going to build an iPhone? If it's not in China, it's going to be, we're building it here maybe. If we're building it here, it's going to be costing a lot more money. So, it's the kind of things to think about. I've got this article here that's kind of interesting. It's Elon Musk, and he says, "We need a universal income because robots will steal all our jobs," as the headline. People will have time to do other things and more complex things and more interesting things, he's told CNBC. Certainly more leisure time. And then we got to figure out how to integrate with the world and the future with a vast intelligence of artificial intelligence is what he's talking about. You know, this was kind of promised to us in the 60s. And I remember in the 60s, because of automation, the companies, especially the car companies, were saying at that time that because of automation, we're going to have much more leisure type lifestyle. We're going to have probably working less hours, less strenuous hours, and everybody's going to reap the benefits. And in the 60s, it kind of was that way. You know, I was just out of college. I was working for Sears in the paint department, I remember, and making about 68. So I was making like $10,000 a year, really good, and just working for Sears and having my 401k through the Sears profit sharing plan. Really nice setup, and we knew that the people who were in charge were probably making a little bit more money than we were, and certainly the people who owned the company were making a lot more money than we were. But as time went on through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it seems like incomes kind of went up for a lot of people, but went down for a lot of people too. And we saw what happened in the in the auto industry. That now everything's mechanized, and yeah, there are jobs, but the jobs, instead of paying the $30 an hour that they were making in the 60s, 70s, it's sort of shrunk down to $15. Maybe some people are making $30 an hour, but of course there's a lot less jobs of them, and we have a lot more people in the unemployment lines and things like that. So he asked what would happen if robots steal our job. It's a question that's been on the minds of both all the different people who were inventing this new intelligence. Robots have already eliminated some factory jobs, but even some creative jobs are now threatened with the media companies. He says, a pretty good chance we end up with universal basic income or something like that. And I think there are some countries already doing this. I think Sweden comes to mind. It's being proposed in Germany. Holland is talking about it too. And we certainly have messed around with it here. And I think that's what Social Security kind of was as we enter being 62 or 65 years old or now 70 years old, that we have an income, at least we can survive on that. I think that's an important thing to think of. I think of it in a different way. I think of it thousands of years ago. We lived off the land, and we would work hard to make our living off the land, but probably not as hard as we work today. We're thinking that indigenous people usually work about 3 hours a day on the average, where the Americans are working usually maybe 40 to 60 hours a week. And they're working 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's 21 hours. That's a lot different. That's half of the lower number. I've always thought that if they're going to take away things, maybe they have to replace something. If you're going to take away that I can't just arbitrarily go find food off the land, then how are you going to compensate me for that? It's much harder. Now I have to go get a job, and I have to earn an income in order to buy food from somebody that's supplying it for me, instead of me just getting it myself. So it's very confusing, I think, to indigenous people. Why would we do that? Why would I spend my whole day working for somebody else to get the money so then I can go buy it someplace else when I can just do it myself? But of course, we can't do that anymore. So that's the logic behind it. Yeah, it's a real puzzle. It says the democratic society paradise is to a point a fantasy. Robots would have to come for our jobs at an exponential rate to generate an economic crisis that would lead to public acceptance of a society where everybody receives a government assistance. Certainly, I would say half of the people in the United States would think that's a bad idea, and the other half might think it's a good idea. I think we have trouble because when we think that people are not working, we think they're lazy. Does that apply just to poor people who don't work? Or does that apply to, say, you inherit millions of dollars and now you're just doing what you want to do? Is that being lazy too? Or is it just the poor people that can be lazy? See, there's a kind of mixed up thing there, I think. I think if you're working for something passionate, you don't even consider it work. You consider it something that you enjoy doing. I think it's just something to think about. Folks, please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. This copy right here has a lot of interesting things about how and why too much protein can trigger your aging and your cancer, and a lot more things about the Inuit population and, really how to get yourself healthy. And these are some of the articles that you need to dig into. Another thing is, too, of course, Primal Edge. We have our great November healthy promotion right now. So you get $25 off the first bottle of Primal Edge. After that, it's $89 delivered to your door every single month. Have the peace of mind that it's coming, and you know there's something good in there that is going to make you feel good every single day, especially changing seasons now. It's important. Pick that up for me, and I'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
As a concept, the basic income guarantee has been bantered around for quite some time. As early as 1795, American revolutionary Thomas Paine called for a citizen's dividend to all U.S. citizens for the loss of his or her natural inheritance by the introduction of a system of landed properties. Even Napoleon agreed that man is entitled by birthright to a share of the earth's produce sufficient to fill their needs or existence. In 1967's speech, Where Do We Go From Here?, Martin Luther King said, I am now convinced that the simplest approach will be proved to be the most effective. A solution to poverty is to abolish it directly by now widely discussed measure, the guaranteed income. The idea has been supported by economists, and also many countries are implemented, like I said before, and that is Brazil, Switzerland, Canada, and Germany are now either implementing it or really talking about it. Even some conservatives are on board. Noah Gordon on the Atlantic, creating a wage floor would be an effective way to fight poverty and reduce government spending and intrusion. So it's getting interesting. As we head deeper into the 21st century, it's become painfully obvious that there are fewer and fewer jobs available. Another interesting fact about the United States, and it is the surprising large portion of the working age adults are not working, primarily because there are fewer jobs to go around. This may not be obvious because the declared unemployment rate in the United States seems low, consistently lower than 10% over a long period of time. The problem is the official unemployment rate hides the number of working age Americans who are no longer considered part of the workforce. Currently, only 63% of working age adults are actually working, and that's probably going to change. Owing to technology, it really does reduce the employment. It's a problem that's only going to get worse. One of this book called Robotic Nation It says here, driverless cars are improving rapidly, and it's easy to understand that it will begin to eliminate all the hires, all the jobs by truck drivers, taxi drivers. There's 1 million or more jobs will be lost just right there. Tablets in restaurants will be eliminating many more jobs held by waiters and waitresses. There are currently 3.7 million full-time K-2 teachers in the United States, yet there are a host of new tools, computer-aided instructions, apps, different things like that will eliminate teaching positions in the near future. The pressure to reduce the cost of public education is relentless, and so the advancement in the technology will solve some of those problems. Combine these trends to the similar trends in factories, the construction industry, retail, etc., and this is what is happening. We're now entering an era in which technology has started to destroy employment faster than it creates it. The advance of information technology, artificial intelligence, and robotics will eventually reduce the demand for all forms of human labor, including those dependent on human skills like empathy and creativity. So one of the things, of course, that we like as if a server comes to your table at a restaurant is the empathy, the conversation, that they suggest things. And if you have a robot doing that, that's a whole different bag. And I have to agree with that and teaching especially. Because teaching from a tablet, doing just research here is a lot different than learning from a lecture or learning in a hands-on classroom or learning from people that are doing the same thing you are and discovering it that way. So with potentially billions of people out of work and with the world's wealth concentrated in the hands of a few, a simple question emerges. How are the people supposed to live? Allowing countries, well, I'm not going to read much more of this. One of the things that some thinkers contend that the broader social reconstructing will have to accompany the problems wrought by the technology unemployment. First of all, protecting unemployment, using legal interventions to protect jobs that might otherwise be lost to their technology innovation and development, kind of like would be tenure, would be in teachers, what I'm thinking. Sharing work, minimizing the frequency of unemployment by sharing the paid work that is available across more workers. Although these policies are mostly short-term, they may help delay or lessen the impact of technological unemployment. Making new work, of course, that makes sense, using governmental and all other non-market interventions to create additional employment that would otherwise not be available under existing market conditions. So by eliminating some jobs, we naturally will come upon jobs that we never even think of. Redistribution, distributing wealth in order to blunt the human and social cost of widespread technological unemployment. This would include the guaranteed basic income. Education, which means revising our education system to make workers more adept in succeeding in an increasingly technologically focused and changing world. And the last thing they mention here is fostering a new social contract, altering the existing social model which an individual's economic livelihood and social status and personal self-worth are based on their employment. And we do see that. I was talking to my hairdresser yesterday, and she was saying, this is what I am. My job is what I do. And so much of us are like that. Certainly, me being on Living a Primal Lifestyle, this is exactly what I do, talking about this. And when I'm not even on the show or I don't have a show coming up, I'm still reading and trying to investigate this path that we're taking, trying to stay healthy in this modern world. I know my wife is in the last couple of years of her employment as an attorney for condos and homeowner associations, and she just identifies her with that job, and everybody else does too. So this is really something that if you don't have a job to go to, that's a serious drain. It puts extra stress on you. How are you going to support yourself? How are you going to support your family? And what's your place in society really worth if you're not working? That's the kind of the way we think. And if we think back thousands and thousands of years ago, nobody had a job except just surviving. Interesting thing. So I don't know what you all think about this, but I thought I'd bring it up. And I think it's something that's going to be more and more in the forefront. And now we have a new president. Republicans normally don't think along these lines, where Democrats more to give money to people as a help. We'll see what happens. Folks, please pick up our Health Signals newsletter. It's a new one coming out next week I'm working on right now. A couple of interesting things in here. One of the ones that I think you should look at for sure is the Inuit paradox. And why are these people so healthy, especially hundreds of years ago before they started eating Western food? And they very seldom ate any vegetables or had any carbohydrates whatsoever. It's an interesting proposition for sure. So please pick up my Health Signals newsletter, brand new one coming out for you right away. And of course, we want you to pick up the November special, $25 off our Healthy Image Primal Edge. And of course, under breaking news here, we have Kelly's Quick Cool Down. And this is a nice video you can watch and learn how to be a little bit healthier and get yourself ready for the day. Number here is 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico here. Paige is, I think, going to Weston A. Price Foundation meeting. And I think she'll be back sometime next week. And she's been asked to be a charter member in this area for the Western Price organization. So that's huge. That's just something right up her alley. I'll give her something more to do, that's for sure. Article here is your energy drink isn't getting you through the day, it's killing you from the inside. And this is important to realize that these these energy drinks called Red Bull, I think there's other names, other ones, but they're filled with a coffee derivative. It's an energy drink. It's got a bunch of different stuff in there. But they've been linked to deaths in the past and known for having similar effects to cocaine. And now a new study, case study published in the British Medical Journal, more side effects of the were discovered, and it's terrifying because they can really destroy your liver. A case study involving a 50-year-old construction worker who was drinking 4 or 5 energy drinks a day over the course of 3 weeks. He ended up developing acute hepatitis and experienced nausea, abdominal pain, and vomiting. Originally, he thought it was the flu, but once his eyes and skin turned yellow, he went to the emergency room where they found he had a severe liver infection. As soon as he stopped binging on the energy drinks, the symptoms went away. This is the second time that energy drinks excessively have been tied to liver failure. In 2001, another otherwise healthy 22-year-old woman was diagnosed with acute hepatitis, and she admitted she was drinking 10 of the energy cans a day in 2 weeks. In both cases, the doctors said the high niacin, or the vitamin B3 levels, are what caused the liver damage, not so much the caffeine or the other ingredients. So something to be aware of, these energy drinks are really full of a lot of different things, different toxins. So I think that's not the route to go. I think the route to go would be something that we do here, and that is Tiger Brew, or what we call bulletproof coffee. And the story behind bulletproof coffee is kind of a neat one, so I thought I'd bring it to you, and I'll give you the recipe again in case. But of course, this is the guy, Mr. Bulletproof Coffee himself, Dave Aspirin, who kind of went up to the mountains of Tibet. And of course, that's really high altitude. You're talking about 8 to 20,000 feet. And people are living in those areas, really above 14,000 feet, many of them. And these people are strong, and a lot of them are centennials. So they're living 100 years, so definitely healthy people. What he found there was they drank a type of tea, which is almost like coffee, and what they were putting in it was yak butter. So yak is the beast of burden in Tibet and through that whole range because of their vigor and their stamina at high altitudes. So when he came back, and Dave Osprey, kind of a neat guy, kind of a nerdy guy, was real heavy and sick for most of his life until he started really hacking, what he called hacking himself. And this is really finding things in a modern age that would kind of simulate some of the things that we were doing when we were indigenous people. And so these indigenous people up there in the Andes, or excuse me, in the Himalayas, were drinking this concoction of yak butter with tea. So he came up with bulletproof coffee, and what he put into it was butter, but not just ordinary butter. He specified the Kerrygold without the salt, which is a grass-fed butter. And I use that myself, great butter, but there are butters out there. The thing I would recommend is not to use any salt in it, of course, because salt in coffee, not too good for itself. He says, let's see what he says here. The science behind it. When I first tried the yak butter and tea in Tibet, I felt like $1 million. Yeah, I had to know why. When I got home, I began researching butter, tea, types of fat, and how fat affects your brain, etc. I began experimenting in my kitchen, looking to recreate that mental and physical boost I felt back on that mountain. I eventually moved away from tea in favor of coffee. Not that I'm hating tea or green tea in particular. It's great for you. And if you don't like coffee, try swamping your green tea in the recipe below, just like he does it. But really, you owe it to yourself to try it, he says. So he says upgrading coffee beans are really important. So you have to really find coffee beans. And what Dave Osprey found, he's found a lot of coffee had mold in them. And not saying that his is not mold, but he says his coffee beans are mold-free. There's many studies. One study tested 60 coffee bean variety and found that 91% of the green coffee beans were contaminated with mycotoxins. Another study found 52% contamination. Another study found 80% contamination, so it really depends. So you need to really upgrade your coffee. He has a nice coffee there. It's pretty expensive. I found many different coffees at my local health food store that are quite adequate for that. Grass-fed butter, definitely a key to this too. And the other thing I use is MCT oil. And MCT oil is usually made from coconuts, and it's the medium chain triglycerides. And these are unique because they really get absorbed through the intestinal wall, don't really go much through the digestive system, and gets really absorbed right in the bloodstream right there and carried right to your liver to make the ketones. These fats are not stored. And that's another contention here, that, you know, there is a big misconception that when you eat fat, you store fat. And that's just not the case. It may be the case if you have fat that's contaminated, or what we call the bad fats, the ones that are manufactured in high heat processes or mechanically use chemicals in them. So get yourself some Kerrygold, really good butter. Butter is really high in the CLA, the beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin D, vitamin E, and many antioxidants. And it also is high in butyrate, a short-chain fatty acids. And studies show that butyrate can prevent and decrease inflammation in humans. Huge thing. I mean, inflammation, isn't that where most of the problems that we have? Pain, certainly, inflammation, but any kind of inflammation, especially the low-grade inflammation from consuming bad food day in and day out over a 20-year period, that's a real sentence for being unwell for the last 20, 30, 40 years of your life. We certainly don't want that. So MCT oil, highly recommended. It really converts to a fuel that your brain just really loves. So not only do you get from the caffeine a nice little boost, but from the MCT oil and from the butter, and it lasts a long time. So you take that jolt that you usually get from coffee, and it's spread over a 4-hour period where you don't get hungry, you feel really happy. So that's why bulletproof coffee, or Tiger Brew as we call it here, is really good, and I highly recommend you look it up. You can just look how to make bulletproof coffee. You'll find lots of different recipes. Try to tweak it on your own, and you'll be a happy camper. Number here is 877-927-6648. We can be right back, folks. Please take a look on the website of the TFNN. You'll find that under the breaking news, you have a quick cool down here or a warm up in the morning. And, of course, we have our promotion going on, too. So stick around. I'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And welcome back to the show, folks. You know, the last few days, I think a lot of people have felt stress with the election and everything like that. And it just shows people in the streets yesterday, last night. And of course, we're working harder than ever, a lot of things that we have to deal with. So one of the things that we always need to do, and one of the things I always think about, is to try to boost my immune system. Because I know in the long run, as long as I'm boosting my natural ability to get over these things that cause us problems, then I'm going to be much better off. I won't be relying on drugs. I won't be relying on just our normal food. I want to do more than just the food. I know I'm eating great food. I think I'm doing the right thing as far as balancing exercise and food and having enough time with my mate. You know, things that are just really important in my life. And when extra stress comes, like things like elections or something unexpected happens, I always think about the ways of boosting this. So there's a lot of different things. It says babies are already born pre-polluted with synthetic chemicals already coursing through their tiny little veins. The immune system is like the body's military intelligence system. It works nonstop to suppress and destroy anything that is foreign to the body. A simple paper cut can attract dangerous viruses and bacteria into the body. The immune system works to destroy them before they can cause adverse effects. So a weak immune system leads to disorders and ailments such as cancer, hepatitis, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, multiple sclerosis, Graves' disease. Some of these diseases are incurable, even with the advanced medicine, but if you have a good immune system, I think you head it off right away. So these are few different things that you might not think of that will help you boost your immune system naturally. And the silver healer is something we talked about the other day with Paige. Silver has worked for centuries as an antibacterial agent. It's one of the strongest natural antibiotics available. Antibiotics, when taken in multiple times, reduce the effectiveness as bacteria evolve to become more resistant to the medications. But researchers found that silver, unlike other antibiotics, do not get destroyed in the body, making it immune to your body's natural defense. A natural immunity against the body's defense allows it to freely work to improve the immunity conditions by promoting health and destroying the pathogens. So one of the products mentioned here is called Silver Healer, and it produces a nanoparticle blend of ionic and collated silver, easy absorption, because it's really small particles. So that's one of the things you can take. Another thing is the reishi mushroom. Over 2,000 years, the reishi mushroom has been labeled as the mushroom of immortality, dating back to ancient Chinese medicine. It's been used for natural healing power and medicinal properties. Reishi has been shown in numerous health benefits through research. Pathogens are neutralized quicker due to reishi's mushroom acting on the different, it binds to these viruses, and it kind of covers them up, kind of like we talk about charcoal binding up with toxins and taking them out of the body so they won't be problematic there. Spending countless of years researching ancient Chinese cultivation methods has formulated the spirit reishi, which is the one that's mentioned here as a top-grade immune buster. So it's called spirit reishi, R-E-I-S-H-I. This shows a more potent product and guarantees the highest results. Many healing mushrooms are fed rotten logs, but reishi is fed over 40 superfoods and herbs to provide a supercharged master herb like no other. Pretty interesting. Here's one you probably recognize. Humic and fulvic acid both naturally occur as organics that begin to decay. For centuries, farmers have used humic to cultivate healthy and rich soil, promoting optimal growth for healthy plants and crops. Fumic acid and humic acids with a stronger oxidant content. Researchers find that it reduces inflammation. These are commonly used in organ transplants to prevent rejection of new organs, in the treatment of autoimmune diseases. When absorbed, fulvic acid makes biochemical reactions in the body become more efficient. This leads to increased enzyme activity, allowing water to pass through the cell membranes more quickly. The body then becomes more hydrated and the toxins are flushed out. So the humic acid is the one that's signaling the membrane to vibrate and let the nutrition in. Fulvic acid is the one that does the same thing, but it actually increases the flow of liquid into the cell, and so you can remove the toxins. Very interesting. So now there's a bunch of people that are really selling just humic and fulvic acid. Of course, we have it in our Primal Edge. That's one of the reasons we based our Primal Edge on the humic and fulvic acid. The signaling processes that take all these vitamins and minerals into your body and let your body absorb them so they can be used. The other thing here is royal jelly. It's a bee secretion that is initially fed to all bee larvae and continuously to the queen bees. As the worker bee larvae have their nutrition switched from honey and pollen, the female larvae poised to become queen is continually fed royal jelly in special queen cells. This leads to a lifespan of 6 years for the queen compared to 6 weeks of just the worker bees. Royal jelly works to inhibit autoimmunity, a state in which the body's immune system attacks itself. Researchers studied the effects of royal jelly on mice who have genetically predisposed with lupus.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Sorry about that. Forgot to shut my phone off. The antioxidant ability of royal jelly helped to regulate the body's ability to combat free radicals in which cause damage to skin and organs. As the first organic jelly on them. Oh, they're just promoting their own jelly here too. So, so those are 5 things that I think you normally wouldn't think of when you're thinking about vitamins and minerals like that. So the silver is huge. Product here mentioned called Silver Healer. We have the Spirit Reishi, which is a full-spectrum organic reishi mushroom formula. We have a product called Humic Fulvic Acid Minerals, and of course we have that in our Primal Edge. And then the last one mentioned here is the Bee Nama, which spelled M-A-N-A, Bee Mana, and that's a royal jelly from the bees. So, you know, do some research and see if this might be for you. Anything that you can use to boost your immunity, I say go for it, you know, and some of these things are not that expensive, and some of these things, you know, you can go out and do mushroom hunting. There's many different ways you can use silver, And, of course, the humic fulvic acid in our Primal Edge, $25 off right now. Get your first bottle for $25 off the retail price, and after that, you get it shipped to your door month after month to ensure that you're going to start off the day right. So we got one more segment coming up. The number here is 877-927-6648. Please take a look at the front page of the TFNN.com website, and from there you can get to the special on the Health Signals newsletter. Of course, you can sign up for the newsletter also. You can use the promotion for the Primal Edge, and of course you can look at our little exercise that we have here, a new one coming next week. Stick around, folks. I'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors. Join John Logan as he teaches you trading techniques utilizing the TAS Profile Scanner. The Global Market Pulse, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. Remember earlier I was talking about that, if we're going to be using robots and computers and things like that for teaching, it's completely contrary to how we learned as indigenous people. There's an article here that says Alaskan Inuit elders create a video game to keep culture alive amongst their youth. Their stories, rooted in folklore and mythology, include tales of overcoming obstacles faced by community. Located in the northernmost reaches of Alaska, winter is brutal and sometimes disappears from mid-November until the end of January. But as much as storytelling is an integral part of their culture, it risks becoming a dying art form. Our younger generation is into other things, says Ishmael Hope, 35, of the Inuit storyteller and writer for CNN Money. They're on social media and into video games. They're much less into storytelling in the community now, so the community is doing a lot less. 4 years ago, the Inuit elders, worried about the youth losing touch with their heritage, came up with a novel idea: create a video game as a form of storytelling. The tribe developed a game called Never Alone, based on the tale of Kanakasaka. I think that's how you pronounce it. The tale following a boy who ventures into the cold to discover the source of a reoccurring blizzard, which prevents his family from hunting hunting for food. Hope is one of the game's 3 writers, adapted the story and made a central character a young Inuit girl and her fox friend. Players are challenged by a series of puzzles and obstacles set in the harsh Arctic landscape. It's the first video game based on indigenous story and built by the indigenous community, says the tribal counselor. As a teaching tool, it incorporates short videos of the community's elders and storytelling, sharing stories about their culture. The game is priced at $14.99, launched in November of 2014. Originally for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Since then, it's had 3 million downloads and won numerous industry awards, and was recently adapted for iOS and the Android devices. It continues to be used in grade school through college as a teaching tool. Although the game is a success, it took a while for the people to start warming up to the concept of the idea. Video games can isolate you or connect you with others. It can go either way. Certainly, I have clients who have sons and daughters that are in video games, and they really do speak about that isolation where these kids are in a world of their own. So this is a nice way of hanging on to some of those oral traditions that really paint a picture for children. You know, one of the brightest moments that I always liked in English class where my 7th or 6th grade teacher would read to us the sound of their voice, their ability to invoke the imagination of us was really, really important. So I don't think this is going away anytime soon. I think we should stress more and more. I love going to lectures. I love talking to people one-on-one. I like talking to people in groups. I like getting ideas across, and you can do it a lot more with the emotion and with the fabric of telling stories that you can relate to, telling stories that happen to you. And it's a real part of being a human being is storytelling. So I think this is a nice gesture on their part to get their youth involved. I mean, they're dealing not only with the social structure of their society, but also, you know, besides the food, it's the intrinsic value, how they hold themselves is through storytelling. It's always been that way. So it's I think it's a good way to go. So that's the show today, folks. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.